All right, let's pick it up with protocol and the portal. God has nowhere to walk. Seek first the kingdom of God and the righteousness. It's kind of hard to do that when the people don't understand God's plan. So everybody is just outside the garden dying. There's a difference between the rapture and the gathering. In church, I was raised, God could crack the sky at any moment. When I started studying for myself, I started seeing this thing called the gathering. Ezekiel chapter 38, Ezekiel chapter 36, verses 24 to 38. God says, I will bring you from the four corners of the earth, and I will bring you into your own land, and I will sprinkle clean water on you, and I will cause you to walk within my statutes. I'm paraphrasing. And I will take your stony heart out of you and give you a heart of flesh. And I will call for the wine and for the oil. And I will have no more reproach of famine upon you. And the waste places that once laid waste shall be rebuilt and fenced in. And the people will pass by and say, look, these places that once laid waste have now been rebuilt and fenced in and have become like Eden. Not just Eden because they look good, but Eden also because immortality is coming and emulating from the place. Portal and protocol. This is why they want to cover up. Powers that be want to cover up black history. Satan definitely want to cover up black history because God wrote his plan through and in the events surrounding the black community and the other communities. Shemitic community plays a role. The Japhethic community plays a role. They all work together. But the thing begins and ends just like a baseball game. You got to have a closer, and the black community, headed up by the ones living in the country with the woman statue that has a crown of 7 horns on her head, headed up by the group of African descendants living in that country, they're going to be the closers. They're going to initiate that exodus that Bob Marley be singing about that we love to listen to, and that jamming, we jamming in the name of the Lord. Okay, when we start this movement. And if you look in Revelation chapter 12, which I am going to get to, if you look in Revelation chapter 12, verses 1 through 3, you see that there's a group of 7 that represents what Noah said. Noah said that the white people are going to take Canaan slave. And so this group of 7 in Revelation chapter 12, they're the ones that do it. And they have crowns on their head because they took Canaan's slave and they took everything from him. They took the inheritance. The money that the grandparents worked for and they left for the descendants, okay, they took it. And God says, I'm going to return your inheritance. See, a lot of people say you can't have it because you wasn't a slave. God ain't said nothing about the money you worked for. God said, I'm going to return to you your inheritance. And the reason why he's going to be able to do it is because I just made a video on communion, the body and the blood that Christ. Okay, here we go. All right, so who is the chosen to establish the portal? God gives everybody a chance as far as the 3 lineages that come out of Noah. God told Noah, I have one covenant with you and your sons that are with you. So each son gets an opportunity to reside over the portal and to invite people in. Shem and Japheth, for the most part, they have a big time issue with tribe against tribe when they're over the portal, and so he has to take it from them. But when Canaan is over the portal, he doesn't have a problem with tribe against tribe. Canaan has a problem with sex. Everybody that comes into Jerusalem he wants to have sex with, so God has to take it from him. The thing about Canaan is he will accept you, but then he'll sex you down afterward. So God had to choose between the 2 that won't accept you at all, so the body of Christ cannot be the body of Adam cannot be reacclimated through Japheth and Shem because they are really into tribe against tribe, kingdom against kingdom, nation against nation. As to what Canaan will let you in, and everybody kind of know how Africa works. Africa will let you in. They'll let you in, and they're docile, and God can use that. But you just got to make sure they understand when you are into fornication and adultery, you are losing the right to immortality. You are losing the right to have God's presence. You are losing the right to be around your dead loved ones for all eternity. Over some ass. For real? Over some ass. I see them shaking it right now. They don't understand what they're losing. They don't understand that thing is ancient. Shaking that is ancient, and it got us kicked out of Jerusalem in the first place. All right. So, So who's able to establish the portal? All three sons. But the promise is with Canaan. So in the end time, Canaan is going to be the one who establishes the portal, and people got to get on board. People are going to have to get on board with that. All right. Flip this page real quick. All right. Next. Canaan, where? All right, we got where. Talking about the portal, we got where. All right. So Canaan is given the west coast of Africa. I think I don't say it that too many times. The west coast of Africa. Though he lives in Shem's land for protection from the curse, he and his people will end up in the west coast of Africa. So we already covered that. When? Okay, so Canaan must complete a full 400-year period of affliction. Even though Africans go all over the world, one specific group is the time clock. That's the group living in the country with the woman statue that has 7 horns on her head. When that group completes a 400-year increment, it's time to go. Okay, I think that group, the estimated increment is 1619 to 2019. After 2019, it's going to be time to go. And you're going to be headed back to the west coast of Africa to an area with eagle's wings. Ironically, Ghana made a year of the return holiday in 2019. Ain't that something? When their increment is up, 1619 to 2019, God is going to make a way for them to leave, and then Ghana just all of a sudden hops up and makes a holiday celebrating the year of the return in 2019, like right on time. Okay, all right. Now. So we got when. When do we go into the protocol? After the 400 years is done. And then after the 400 years is done, Lucifer is going to connect himself to a leader in the land with the woman statue that has the 7 horns. Lucifer is going to connect himself to a leader. Now Lucifer is red. So the Bible calls him the red dragon in Revelation chapter 12. Lucifer is red. So when he connects to this man, that man is also going to start changing colors. And people ain't going to know what to make of it. Okay, but the people back then, they saw it. They saw the color they was changing into, and they called it red. They probably didn't have a word for what we use, the color that we think this person might be, but they said red. So when Lucifer connects himself to that person after the 400 years, you're going to see it. Everybody's going to know about it. All right. So when do we go into the portal? 400 years done, 2019, I suspect. Red man comes on the scene, and Lucifer is behind him, and Lucifer is trying to get his hands on the military. God says if he doesn't shorten those days, no flesh would survive. So when Satan is coming through this guy, it's all about getting his hands on that military. It's all about, and you'll even hear him talking about it, how when he gets his hands on the military, he just kind of sort of wish that his generals would just kind of do what he say, kind of like generals of other dictators throughout history who just kind of did whatever their leader said. So when Lucifer attaches to him, he's going to start feeling Lucifer's thoughts because, see, Lucifer hates Adam. And he wants to kill all Adam's kids. And he knows he could do it through that military. And then God said it was water at first, but it's going to be fire the next time. And then the Bible also says if he doesn't shorten the days, then no flesh would survive. So he's going to get his hands on that military, and a lot of people are going to die. And the escape route and the protection place, just like it was when Canaan stayed in Shem's land, well, this time it's going to be Canaan land. All right. But yeah, you're going to see the red man. You're going to see him come because Lucifer's attached to him. And he's going to be working. If you listen to him, he's going to be working to get control of that military. He's going to be talking about how he just lusts for having complete control of the military. It's Lucifer talking, right? All right. Now. All right, I got that. We're talking portal. All right, we're talking portal. Okay. Benefits of the portal. When you read the book of Baruch and you get to the portal, it says, now has come the time that the world should see that the dead have risen. We have a 6-year contract in the portal. You find this in the book of Melchizedek. We have a 6-year contract. During the contract that you sign, and in the 7th year, you go off into immortality. The contract that you sign, you get a mansion, you get white robes, you get an instrument, and you got to sing. You also sign a morality clause, and you have a 6-year probation, and you just have to survive that 6 years. That's why it says, Ezekiel chapter 38, that the Antichrist is looking at our building project, and he says, come, let us go down to them that have gathered themselves from the 4 corners of the earth and have gotten goods and gotten cattle. Come, let us gotten goods and cattle, let us go down and take a spoil. It's because we have executed the protocol in the portal. Straight out of the book of Melchizedek, sign a 6-year contract, you get a mansion, you get white robes, you got to wear a pearl, and you got to have an instrument, you got to sing. Peace.